All right, this is the water crossing, and it looks less sketchy in the videos. Good morning, guys. You may notice that I am not in Fairbanks anymore. I did a little jump ahead, and I am just a little past Delta Junction, taking a hike. I stayed in Fairbanks for a couple days and worked on some editing and went and visited a little doggy at the local shelter, and I came about this close to adopting her, but I think it's just not quite the right time. I'm not quite ready for that. After a couple days in Fairbanks, I still needed to do a lot more editing, and it's too expensive to stay in Fairbanks. And so I came down to Delta Junction and got this cute little kind of almost hostel lodge where you have your room and then there's a common room for eating and common bathrooms. And the price was right, and it worked out really well for me. I am not all caught up on editing, but I'm a lot further down the line than I was. And in Delta Junction, I was able to get my windshield replaced. And the guys who replaced my windshield, who were fabulous, I'll put their name up here, told me about this hike. Depending on what source you're reading, this is a 2 or 3 mile hike in total, out and back. Nobody seems to give you a firm number, but I guess it could possibly vary depending on how far the glacier's coming down that year. So it could vary, but 2 to 3 miles, easy hike, completely unmarked on the highway. I would not have known anything about this hike whatsoever if my auto glass guy hadn't told me. So that's wonderful. Small towns are great. Small town service is wonderful. They actually came to the place I was staying and picked up the Jeep and took it to the shop, fixed the window, and brought it back to me. That's some service. The river that this glacier feeds is raging because it's warm. I mean, it's very overcast and kind of rainy, but it's warm. And I imagine that glacier is melting at a pretty good clip right now. Gotta tread carefully on this one. Kind of glad I actually wore my waterproof boots. Now it's raining. I keep on waffling between putting my raincoat on or not. Is it gonna rain for 3 seconds and then stop? I don't know. Okay. It's too much rain to not have a raincoat. But it's not enough rain to really wear it. So I'm wearing it like a cape. That seems to be a good compromise. And it's warm. Raincoat's hot. I don't know if that comes out on camera. That's a cool rock. It's a really big rock too. Just lots of cool layers and textures. This is the same kind of rock and just cool layers, and you can see the red where it's really rich in iron. And this is maybe quartz in the rock. And it's just red because there's iron dripping down on it. I don't know. And then this one too. Just those awesome layers. And yeah, this has to be some kind of, maybe it's a little more solid than quartz. I don't know what that is. I was thinking quartz, but maybe it's something else. That's quartz for sure. That's got to be quartz. I don't know if you're watching this going, no, that's something, this other thing, and it's not quartz. Leave a comment and let me know. We have run out of trail, and I think we just walked to the other side of that little berm there. And there should be a glacier on the other side. Maybe I should have done a little bit more homework about this hike, but it's all good. And look at the view behind. I wish there were a little fewer clouds. What we're looking at actually is the end of the glacier, and I can see the ice cave. So I've just come around the big berm and there's the ice cave. What that tells me, and the fact that there's stuff growing on top of this glacier, is that this is a really slow moving glacier. Yes, stuff is growing on it, like plants. In the wintertime, you can hike into that ice cave. I don't think you're going to be successfully fighting your way up that raging river into the ice cave right now. But I'm going to see if I can get my drone in there without killing my drone. The raging river is over there, and you can just see the little bit of the ice cave. And I'm going to walk up here and see how close I can get to it. This is not super fun. I'm going back downhill, kind of slippy stuff, and going back around where I was because there's no good spot over there on stable ground to launch the drone from. So going back around the other side. If you want to retain the mystery of how drone shots are captured and just look at the pretty afterwards, turn away now. This is my drone. It is not a fancy commercial drone. This is a DJI Mini 4 something. Oh, it's a Mini 4 Pro. And this is the controller for it. You gotta screw on little handles. And turn it on. I just saw some rock fall happening right there, so I stand by my assessment that that is not stable. Hopefully I don't lose the drone over there. I'm not taking it in the cave, but I'll take it right up to it. I'm gonna have to actually dig my sunglasses out of my pack because it's sunny now. And the clouds are starting to lift on the mountains in front of me. I feel pretty good about my general navigation skills right now because there's been a few people who ended up on the other side of the river and are looking for a way across here where it's not crossable. So for my lack of planning, I did okay. I haven't been catching them on camera, but there's been rock falls all along that little cliff edge. Just every like 10 minutes or so, more rocks come falling down the super dangerous cliff edge there. Maybe this just looks extra green because it's in a whiter rock, but could that be jade or something? Surely somebody who's really into geology is watching this. I don't even know if you find jade in this part of the country. What's the other green one? Jasper? Jasper's green. There's a green vein in that rock. It's interesting. Copper's green, but that's not really the copper color. If you know, let me know in the comments. All right, that was a delightful hike. I'm gonna head down the road, just a hop, skip, and a jump, and see if we can't find a camp spot. We took the Richardson Highway out of Delta Junction, and it still follows the pipeline that we were driving all along on the highway, the Dalton. The Dalton. I forgot the name of the Dalton. Oh, mosquitoes. This road goes back to another glacier. We're not going to go all the way back to the other glacier today. We're going to find a camp spot and then drive back to the glacier tomorrow. Look at that cool mountain up ahead. That's cool. We're checking out to see if there's a camp spot back here. Ah, and there's one. The road gets a little narrow here. Little pinstripes happening. I wonder what this goes back to. We're finding out. I'm gonna look at the satellite map to see if it's worth all the pinstripes to drive back here. See if I can't figure out where this is going. Doesn't look like it's actually going anywhere, and that it's just going to dead end up here a bit. I don't know if you can see that on the phone, but my little dot's right there, and this road doesn't go anywhere. So I'm going back to that little campsite back there. We've got to back up through all the brush. Going forward through the brush was pretty easy. Going backward through the brush was a little more challenging. I had to back up like 0.1, 0.2 miles and around a curve to get to our camp spot. It's all good, all worked out. Got a few new pinstripes. Oh, and there are mosquitoes all around. Too many bugs at that spot. So I'm headed down the road a little bit to a more open area with less vegetation and hopefully fewer buggies. And I'm not showing you the road because we're gonna drive it tomorrow. And it's really dramatic and I don't want to spoil it. So I'll see you when we get to our camp spot. We're just down the road and there's a lot fewer bugs out there. There's gonna be some bugs, but the car was just getting swarmed by bugs at that other little spot. So this will be better. I've been puttering around, getting camp set up, and now it's raining. But let me give you guys a preview of tomorrow. We are going there. It's gonna be cool. And now I'm diving into the Jeep. Gonna get out of my wet jacket. And I think that's all for today. And tomorrow, we're gonna do a really cool trail up to a glacier in the Jeep. We'll see you in the morning. I have to qualify with that with assuming the rain has not swollen the rivers that we have to cross too much to cross. We'll be finding that out tomorrow. Try to read the fuse box. Good morning, everyone. I think I have a blown fuse, but I gotta figure it out. That's the problem. It's really stuck. Blown fuse. Now the problem is I don't have a replacement 20 amp fuse. I only have a replacement 15 amp fuse. I'm gonna pop it in there, and when we get to the next town, I'm gonna go purchase some 20 amp fuses. Here's our lovely canyon campsite. It's a little breezy and a little more overcast than I'd care for. It's a little chilly. Winter has come back to Alaska in July. Not unexpected, but we're gonna head up that road and there should be a glacier. I really wish it were less windy because it's a little 4x4 trail and I want to hang my head out the window. That's the best way to do those, but it's gonna be a little chilly. What that fuse goes to is my sockets, the 12-volt accessory plugins. And I noticed it was bad because my jackeries aren't charging. And that's a problem. The one is being also charged by solar, but it's not enough solar to keep it fully charged. So, especially with the fridge running. So, it needs to be fixed and I need to go get the proper size fuse for it because this is a 15 amp on that is likely to blow as well. I probably have a 20 amp fuse somewhere back there, but I can't find it. So once we're done with this, I am going to go to the store and get a proper sized fuse. But I think this trail is beckoning. Let's go. I've read varying reports about how long this trail is, much like the trail yesterday. Some say it's 6 miles-ish. Some say it's 10 miles-ish. I think it depends on where you count the ending. But it's not that long, and it's an out and back, so we're gonna drive out, see the glacier, and then drive back. I'm not going the trail alone. I have this really slow-moving porcupine that is leading the way. Get out of the trail, buddy. I gotta go that way. Maybe dive off into the bush or something. You don't have to go straight down the trail. All right, this is the water crossing, and it looks less sketchy in the videos. I gotta go out and check this out on foot. So this is very shallow, but you gotta cross right there. And that's not so shallow, but it'll be fine. Oh, Alaska. Alaska is pretty impressive. We're heading up this thing, which doesn't look like that much, but that is for sure put on the 4 low on the Jeep. Taking a moment as I hike back up to the Jeep. I couldn't stop for a little while. So it's a significant hike back to the Jeep. But this is the toe of the glacier. So the glacier goes up this valley, and this is the end of it. And I can actually see, like, there and there, some ice bridges or ice caves. And actually I see some more as I go back up this hill. I gotta get the batteries more charged for the drone. This is probably close to a 30% grade. It's quite steep and has a ton of loose rock, hence putting the Jeep in 4 low. So I think probably till we get to the end, the Jeep's gonna be in 4 low, because it looks like this just kind of goes up and down over top of the glacial moraine. So I think there's going to be some more steep stuff. This is legit a little bit of rock crawling for a minute. Don't know how long that part lasts, but for sure this is rock crawling. And so far they're not very big rocks. I could just drive. Rock crawling is very slow going, and it gives you the chance to observe the pretty flowers along the way. The glacier starts way up there, feeds down this valley, and you can see a bazillion ice caves and cool glacier stuff. And then turns into a river. This would be probably a very super cool snowshoe or ski in the winter. Probably high avalanche danger, but you could explore all those ice caves. That would be cool. The spot we have reached now is what I think is the most psychologically intimidating portion of this trail. Like, it narrows up to where you're just driving on this little ridge of glacial moraine for a little bit. Yeah, it's not technically challenging, but psychologically, it's a little, The pictures and videos I've seen of this place, including my own, do not even come close to doing this place justice. So incredibly beautiful. But I found a place I can turn around. And I actually sent my drone up to see if I could see another place to turn around, and I don't see one close. So we're turning around. The road does continue on, but it gets really narrow in some spots, and I don't know that I want to do like another mile of really narrow. So I'm calling this good. My biggest concern is actually getting to a spot that's super narrow that I'm not comfortable passing, and then having to back all the way down to the spot where I can turn around. So that would not be fun. So this is good. We have seen the glacier. It is beautiful. So glad I did this. These are a little intimidating because you cannot see what's over the hill. I'm off the ridge. Easy peasy from here on out. I'll see you at the bottom and try to figure out where I'm going next by the time I get there. I'm down off the trail and it's a little breezy outside. So I'm going to show you where we are on the map and kind of where my brain is going right now. We have Alaska, the Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and I am about right here in Alaska-ish, just south of Fairbanks and south of Delta Junction on the Richardson Highway. Delta Junction is the end of the Alaska Highway. They have a signpost there. It's milepost 1422, I think. It's the end. I have been considering taking a detour, continuing south on the Richardson Highway, and then heading east to McCarthy. On my way driving up, I passed by the Wrangell St. Elias National Park and thought that that looked so amazing and that I'd like to come back there someday. And that's what's in McCarty, or that's where McCarty is in that park. And there's a cool old mine there, like in a town, and a glacier you can hike to. But that gets me further away from Tuxyaktuk, and it's like a 250-mile detour each way from where I am right now. My overall goal is to get to Tuxyaktuk, which is way up here, and you take the Dempster Highway from Dawson City to get there. The only problem with that is that at the immediate moment, the Dempster Highway is closed due to a wildfire. And so I'm like, maybe I should take my detour. I don't know whether the highway is going to be closed for a day, for a couple days, a week, a month. Nobody knows. And that's the only way to get to Tuktoyaktuk. So, decisions. And I think I need to find a good camp tonight because that is all rain. I think I'm about to drive into a downpour. I've been pondering it for a minute and I'm headed to Tuk. Hopefully the road is open by the time I get there, but it's high time I got there. So it's gonna be like 2 weeks before I actually get there, but we're headed that way. And I think that's it for today. I'm going to drive through the rain that is about to happen. I want to thank all of you guys for coming along with me. I truly appreciate it. And if you're not a subscriber and you've made it this far in the video, maybe you should become a subscriber. I'm going to make more of this stuff. So come along for the ride and we'll see you guys real soon.